Hello everyone, welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Mel, and today on the channel we are going to be, or I'm going to be painting some Massive Darkness 2 minis. If you've watched the last streams, you will see that I've painted some characters, I've painted some of the mob enemies, and then today on the stream we are going to tackle some of the roaming monsters. So I'm going to try to do 2 of the roaming monsters in this stream today. So looking forward to that. These minis are really neat. They have a little more detail than the smaller minis. They're a little bit bigger. So I'm excited to paint these up and see what they're going to look like when they're done. So hello, everyone. Hello. Sajat, hi. Sajat says here to say hi, Mel. Hi, Sajat. Hi, chat. And to drop my like. Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you so, so much. Then I shall disappear shortly. Oh, that's good. Ninja Art. Good evening, Mel and everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. Hello. Jacob, thank you. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody that's watching live. Hello, watching later. I hope you guys are grabbing some paintbrushes and some minis off the shelf, and you guys can join me in painting some of your minis as well. I think what we'll do is we'll get down to the table, I'll show you the minis that we're going to work on today, and we can just kind of get started and chat while we are painting. So, I picked these 2 as the minis that we will focus on for today's stream. I have some art and some cards that I'll show you, but I just kind of thought they look neat. Some of the same colors are used between, so we can do kind of 2 of them at the same time, which is going to be awesome. Save on paints. But yeah, these are the 2 that I just kind of picked for starting the stream. So I think I want to start with this one. Very cool looking mini. Very cool. I'm going to start with this one. We'll just leave this one. I have this area here. There's a fan blowing on it, so this is going to be where we're drawing. You'll still be able to see them while they're drying, which is neat. Little different setup than we had last time. So I think what I can do is I can show you some of the art that we're using. So I have the cards just off to the side here, but also in the rule book, actually, if I go here, in the rule book, we have a bigger art, a little more full-size art. I'm going to mainly be using this as the image to focus on my my guide versus the cards. It's a little bit easier to see. So this is kind of what we're focusing on. This is what we're going to try to do. We're going to do some dark feathers. The underneath the metal, there's some dark feathers there as well. And then it looks like there's metal over top of the body. And then we have the flowing skirt, let's call it. So those are the kind of colors. So some darks, some metals, and some reds are kind of what we're going to be using as well. Then it looks like maybe some creams or whites as well that we'll be using. So I think, so this is kind of what the goal is of what I'm trying to get this mini to look like in the end. We'll see if we can do that. Josh says, we played Small World today. Would be neat to paint the minis in that game. Oh, wait. Is there minis in that game? I don't remember. We only played the World of Warcraft Small World. And I don't remember. Okay, so I think it'll fit on this holder. I hope so, because I don't think it fit on the other one. Oh, this is tight. I have only 2 sizes, and I don't think it fits on this one. I've got to make it fit on this one. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got it. Okay. So off to the side here, I also have the rule book just down. If I'm looking this way, I have the same art that's on that screen as well. So I think I'm going to start with the wings. And for the wings, again, we're going to be mainly using speed paints for these characters with a few accent colors of golds, silvers, metallics, any of those colors, and then maybe some creams or pales or anything like that. So we're going to start with the wings, and I think for that, I want to go dark. So I need to organize my paints like alphabetical or something. Never find what I'm looking for. Oh, because it was turned the other way. We are going to go with Grim Black for the wings. Layla, hello, hello. Okay. Hoping that the speed paints brings out some of the details and the lines in the wings. Kayla, are you painting today? Still working on your descent, right? All right. Well, I forgot to bring paper towels, so we're just going to do that. Okay, I'm going to use a bigger brush for this because we can just, let's use a size 5 because we're just going to slap this all over. How's everybody's night going so far? I did the whites and the specters today, but now it's bedtime. Oh, tomorrow you might do the berserkers and zelts. Awesome. Yeah, I saw the pictures that you posted in the Discord. They look awesome. They look awesome. And you had mentioned that we were talking in a previous stream about the metallics set, and you said you have that and you love it. So it's added to my wish list for when I go to the game store. Yeah, I'm excited to pick that up. The colors look super awesome and vibrant. Actually, we're going to do the feathers the same. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're going to do the feathers the same color. So I'm just going to do this center area. Just ignoring these little spikes that are showing through, that are above. Oh, you want to use fairy dust on everything? Okay, I'm excited to pick that up. I just have to look. I can probably look online to see if my game store has it or the hobby store that we go to. They also have the display racks, so they have all the different pods. So if they don't have the whole set, then I can just kind of look at what ones they have as single pods. And they usually do deals where if you buy so many, they're cheaper. So I can look at that as well. Just gonna add a little more. I'm sorry, I realized that I had put this off screen. So again, we're using the Grim Black for the wings. I wanted something dark, so I didn't want to do gray or some of the other characters. We've used the Holy White to do kind of like a grayish wing. This one looks dark and like demon-like, so. Going with the darkest speed paint I have. Okay, and then flip it to do the other side. And then this halo that's around him, I'm just going to do that in cream or bone type color. So any mess from the black speed paint I can paint over, so that's no problem. And then after I do one side, I usually kind of look above and below just to make sure I got all underneath everything and all the little hidey spots underneath the wings. And I like the color of that so far. We'll see when it dries, but I like that it's also emphasizing all of the different feathers. Yeah, I like that. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Going over the rules for Aftermath, I notice you, yes, we have played through that. That was a fun game. That was a fun game. I think I also painted it. Yeah, that was a fun game. Are you playing solo or with friends or family? I remember that that game being a game that you could potentially play with kids if you had any. I don't remember it being very difficult, so you should be easy to grasp for you. And then just check to make sure that I got all of the tops and bottoms. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. This one's so big, I'm not used to. Okay. I think we're good. So now I'm just gonna do all of, so underneath all the metal is the fur feathers, which are the same color as what we have just used. So I'm going to do all of that as well in the same grim black. And we'll just put this in between all of these little areas that look like metal on both sides. You're gonna play solo. You figured it was light enough for the first game to control 4 characters by myself. Yeah, you probably could with that game for sure. We played only 2. And I think even if I remember correctly, in that game, even if you aren't playing all 4 characters at the same time, things will still happen to the other characters or you still level them up as you go. So yeah, I think you can definitely probably play 4-handed solo. That's awesome. I would love to know your thoughts after you play through a little bit of it. You like it? Okay. I'm just gonna have a few areas here where it looks like it might be peeking out, where we'll throw this same black, which will just break up that metal. Ninja, are you painting that game as well, or playing just unpainted? So I remember the minis were really cute in that one. The little animals. Okay, and then same thing on the other side. Look for like small gaps, and we'll add this in for just some breaking up of the metal. And then it looks like the face is metal as well, but we're the tip of the beak and a little bit of the neck we're gonna try to get in there. I wasn't planning on painting it soon, but I'm working on the ones for Madara. Oh yeah, there's a lot in that one. There's a lot in that one. But there is some cool looking minis in there. Yeah, I painted all of that. Okay, I'm just gonna get a smaller brush to go around the neck area. I think it'll just be easier for me to control it. For this one, I'm just going down to a size 1 from a size 5. It'll just be easier for me to control in here because I find with the bigger brushes, the bristles are the it's longer and it's harder to control because they get kind of floppy when you're trying to get them into these areas. Okay. I think that is it for this color. Oh, we're gonna just do the tip of the beak. Sorry, tip of the beak as well. Okay. That's what we got so far. So now I want to let the wings and the feathers underneath dry before I start using the metal. So that way we can cover up any mistakes from that. So we will put him, I assume it's a him, sorry. We will put them on our little drying rack. So that will dry, and we'll bring this one to the, yeah, this one does fit. This one fits better. Okay, sorry. So let's bring up what this one's gonna look like, kind of what the idea art is, and we can pick out some colors and talk about it. Okay, so this is kind of what she's looking like. And I was looking at her before the stream. So it looks like her robes are a few different colors. Almost looks like it goes from a purple to maybe like a lighter pink, and it kind of just gets darker as it goes higher. So I'm thinking that we'll do like the inside purple. And then I'm thinking for the 3 outside layers, I was thinking of starting with like my brightest red and then just adding a little bit of white to the next set, and then a little bit more white. So they kind of are all 3 different shades with like purple in the center. Kind of what I'm thinking. And it almost looks like she's stone. So we'll use probably the holy white for the skin and flesh. And then it looks like just her weapons, like a bone bow, and a little bit of a metal halo, darker around the ring, and then lighter or more shiny as are the spikes. This is kind of the look that we're going for with her. So again, I have this off screen, but I just want to show you what the look is that we're going for as we're choosing our colors. Okay, so I'm gonna just look at what I have for purple. I think I only have one. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm not sure which red is going to be, which red is going to be brighter. I have slaughter red and bone red. Actually, looking at this like this, I think the blood red by the image looks brighter. So I think we'll go with that one. I'm even tempted to put a drop of the red in with the purple on that base, just to give it that red undertone. I'm just looking at what else I got. I also do have purple alchemy. I think this is too light for what I'm looking for. Thinking that if I put a drop of the red in with this, I think it'll still be too red. So I think we'll go for the Hive Dweller purple with a drop of the red in to start. Okay, so we don't need this in a lot of areas, so I might just do a 2 drop to maybe a 1.5. We're just going underneath in here. Yeah, the purple alchemy does look a little too pink when I was looking at it. Yeah, a little too pink for what I'm going for. I'm going for more of the dark which is this one, but I wanted to kind of have that reddish undertone a little bit, or yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna try. We'll see what it looks like. So I'm gonna do 2 drops of this, maybe to like half a drop of the blood red. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, quite pink by the looks of it. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Also, Infamous, hello, hello. This may even be a little too purple, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly. We're just going to show that it has like the different levels of color. So let's see what this looks like. Again, it might dry a little bit different, so it's going to be hard to tell when we're just looking at it wet, but I'm just going to do a little area here so that we can see the color. And I think that's kind of what I'm looking for, right? You can kind of see that it has a little bit of red tinge to it, purple/red a little bit. So I think this is what I'm looking for. And I'm happy with that. Like I said, again, it doesn't have to be perfect to the image, but I just want to have it so that there's a little bit of contrast between all the different colors. It's not all the same. Hello, hello, Infamous, hello, welcome. How are you doing today? And what I'm going to do, it looks like around, and I think I can show this easily with this card. It looks like around the cloak itself, there's a little ring of almost like it looks maybe like a white fur or something. What I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use one of like the solid paints, not necessarily speed paints for that. That will cover up anything if we're a little bit messy. So that's what we'll do there. And it does look like it's outlined here on the mini, which is easy to follow, which is awesome. Because sometimes you're just drawing those lines freehand and it can get a little bit messy. Lila's asking, does the speed paint medium just thin the speed paint or does it lighten it? I suppose by thinning it, it theoretically lightens it as well, I guess. Yes. So the speed paint, it thins it down, which it definitely lightens it, but also makes it thinner on the mini. So the white's going to show through more, not necessarily changing the color per se. So, yep. I do like them though, and I have used them. The speed paint mediums, I have used it. I don't think I've used any on stream really that I can think of. But I have used it. Some of the colors, if you have the speed paint, you'll know, like some of them, like for example, this like orc skin is very, very, very vibrant. It'll tone down that a little bit if you're wanting more of a muted color. Even the reds, sometimes I'll use it in the reds to tone that down just a tiny bit. But yes, it will thin it, which then means that it is thinner on the mini. So you might see the white through. But maybe that's what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for more of almost like an off-white color. So that would do the trick there. But I don't use it very often. You know what's good? Don't ever be worried about ruining anything with the speed paints because they come off so easily. If I put it on and I don't like it, so let's say I did that first little bit and we were like, that's not really the color I'm looking for. It's too dark or it's too light or whatever the case may be. You can just load up your brush with water and it'll come right off. So you don't even have to worry. I've even, one of the minis I kind of did, and I was like, after it kind of started, not even started to dry, I could tell right away that I was like, I don't like this color. It's not what I was going for. I literally just took it and like dipped it in because there's no other paint on it. Just that I like just dipped it in the water and got it all off. So don't feel like you're gonna ruin anything with the speed paints. They come off super easy if you make a mistake or you don't like what you did. Because sometimes it's very hard to tell what colors the speed paints are going to turn out when they're dry. One of the members in our Discord, he actually took a little piece of, I guess he primed them all white, a little piece of plastic, primed it all white, and then did each of the speed paints so you could see what it looked like when it was dry, and kind of has like a little chart, which is an amazing idea because it's sometimes very hard to tell when it's dry what it's going to look like just by looking out of the bottle. And I know that they've done, which is still amazing, they've kind of done the different shades here based on what color you primed your minis, which is awesome. Kind of tells you what it'll look like. But even that's not like 100% accurate, right? And then if you start mixing colors, you can, yeah. But I think it's definitely a smart idea to do almost like a little chart of what the colors look like when they're dry. So you know what to pick for what you're trying to do or what look you're trying to get. Am I going to use this bloody purple on the inside of that top layer too? I really like that color. I don't think so, because again, let me bring up this again. Let me show you. It looks like this color is only in the bottom and like the inside. Oh, I'm like pointing at things on my mini. On the skirt itself and like the inside layer of the first layer. So I'm just doing it on that one. Then we're going to go a lighter red each layer as we go out, but I'm going to start the darkest on the top and then lighten them down as I go, I think is what I'm going for. But I might be able to use a little bit of this if I still have some that's not dried out by then. I might be able to use some of it. See at the bottom of the second layer, almost like a transition where it's kind of like maybe a little bit purple, but like obviously as you get to like under the arms, it's definitely not. Might be able to do some sort of transition there where it's kind of like blending it up, but we'll see. We'll see how I can do. Or we can maybe even use a little bit of it to highlight the other layers. But I do like it. I like this purple. I like even just adding that one drop of red. Change it a little bit. The underside, which I definitely really like this color actually. I think it's good. I'm just going to try just to go inside where it looks like it might be peeking through the weapon here. So it's okay if it's a little bit messy there. We'll clean that up when we actually go over that with whatever color we decide to do in that section. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like we have our top layer, second layer, and third layer. So I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to try the blood red. I think it's fine because I think we want it to be super bright. I think I can go with the blood red first on the very top layer. And then I might add a little bit of the holy white to kind of lighten it a little bit after we've done the top layer. Okay. Let's see. It's very bright. Might look a little bit like blood, but we'll see when it's dry. But I want it to be, yeah, I want it to be dark. The other thing too is if they're a little bit brighter in the colors than they are on the artwork image, it's fine because it just means that it stands out a little bit more when we are playing on stream. I can do some light dry brushing to lighten or darken based on what color I think it needs to be after it dries, for sure. Yeah. Kate, hello. Hello, how you doing? I can definitely do that. If we think that it needs to be a different color after we do all 3 layers. But if it just kind of works, then we'll just leave it. For these ones, I am trying to be quick, so doing a little bit less than I've done in the past, so a little less of highlighting every little detail and dry brushing everything. I still want to make them look cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going as crazy as I have in the past. Just trying to get them done so we can play. Okay, I think that's that side. And again, don't mind there's like some mess there, but we'll clean that up when we start using some other colors. That's fine. Just try to be... All right. Okay, so that's our first layer. Okay. Just looking, before I start mixing other colors into it, I'm just kind of looking if there's anywhere that I missed. I can drop a little bit on the palette if I need, or if I realize, oh, I forgot somewhere, but... Okay. So from there, I'm going to take... Holy White. We're going to add a little bit of the white because we're going to kind of dull it down a little bit as we go to each layer till we get to the inside, which is a little bit more pink. Okay, so for this one maybe I'll do like 3 drops and we'll see what that looks like, if that even does much of anything. I can tell, I think, already just by mixing it in here that it definitely changed the color, so that's good. But let's see if it's enough. We'll just do... No, see, that looks like it's almost exactly the same. So that didn't work as intended. I need to get more paper towels in a minute. Forgot to bring some down. All right, so we've kind of just cleaned that up. Not perfectly, but that's okay. All right, you know what? Maybe I wonder if actually adding, instead of that one, I wonder if adding that pink in, I wonder if we add a little bit of this one in. That might work. Again, I'm just playing, I have no idea. Or what I could do is take this and add a little bit of red to it and see what that gives us. Let me put that in here. I just want to see. Okay, let's do, add that in there. Thank you so much. I forgot. Thank you.
Also, you could try mixing like the red and the purple together.
That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Well, I just wanted to lighten it, like make it, but that didn't work as intended.
Look at her on the screen there. It's like purple and red, and they're kind of like meeting.
That's what we're, yeah, yeah. I can do that. Rob brought me some paper towels, which okay. I'm just going to move some of this out of my way here. Okay, just mixing in some of that red into, this actually will probably be the perfect color for the next layer. Like the inside this one. Let's do that. And then we'll just add more red to it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's good. And then what we'll do with this one is we'll just add a little bit more red to it for the backside. Yeah, I like that. And I'll do the same on the other side. He has some weapon straps that I will try to avoid. Can't really see, it's hard to get inside this one, so it might be a little bit messy at first. Okay. And then just any spots that look like they might be showing through of, I will do the same color. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take more of this one now, this red that I just have here. I'm just going to add some more in. Now I want to darken this a little bit more before we do the next back layer. Okay. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. One thing I like about the speed paints is they do mix nicely together. The red is really nice. Awesome. Yes, I like it. I like it. Mixed with the purple is better. Yeah. I think it has a nice transition. They all look different, each shade of it. Okay, the only thing I noticed is that it looks like there's a little bit of that second of this other purple layer, this one here. Which may not even be the same anymore, but that's okay. Okay. I think that looks good. All the different colors as it goes up. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. We'll bring our bird back on. Before we do anything else with that one. And I just want to quickly look. I think he also has a red dress. Let's go here. It's not super red, it's lighter. Just thinking for a minute. I think let's bring back. It's almost like not bright red. I'm wondering if we went with this color, right? Because it's not super bright, it's lighter. I'm thinking that I might do that. And then we already have the paint, so that's like a 2-in-1. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So I already have that paint going. And it is lighter than a bright red, so. And I'm just gonna put this like all over. I was thinking that it does look like the second layer on the robes for sure. Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, like a perfect exact match to the art, but we just wanted it so that it's going to pop out on screen. You're going to be able to see easily on from a bird's eye view when you guys are watching us play through who's who, what characters what. So it kind of matches, but it doesn't have to be like exact shades. No one's going to be like, oh, that's a different shade of red. I think you can take some liberties when you're painting a little bit on different shades. And someone had commented in a previous episode, or we were just kind of chatting about it, just to let you know while I'm seeing it, is I don't clean like mold lines and things like that. So you can see like here, I don't file all that off. We just get it ready for the table. So if you see that kind of stuff and you're cringing right now, just, I'm sorry, close your eyes. It's not as noticeable once it's painted and dried, but just for any of you that can see. I found that the bigger minis, you could notice they had a little bit more of that mold line, or where you might need to fill it in a little bit, but I don't even bother with that. I just paint them up. But if you're cringing right now, I'm sorry. If I was displaying or having it judged, maybe I would worry about that stuff. But for us, we're just playing with them. I don't care. Am I going to use the reddish glow on the wings? I'm going to try to do some sort of dry brush on them, yes, I think, to highlight them and make them kind of glow a little bit. Yes. I'm going to do something. I think that's a cool look. The other thing I'm realizing is I may not have enough of this color. So I'm trying to do all of the top so that if it's slightly a different color underneath, like if I don't mix the shade exactly perfect again, it won't be as noticeable like underneath the mini. So I'm just trying to do all of everything that would be seen from above, so it all kind of looks the same if I run out of this color before I finish. We were close. We almost had enough. I just have a few little underspots left. So I'm gonna put a couple drops of this purple. And then I'm just gonna take what I have left from that other pot here and just mix that in there. And again, it might not be exactly the same shade, but it's all going underneath anyways, so it's fine. Yeah, definitely needs slightly more red. Just gonna. Okay. So it's not a completely different color. There you go. Yeah, it's not an exact match, but it's pretty close. And it's all in the under areas anyway, so if that's a little bit darker, then that's fine, right? Because that would be naturally darker anyways. But I think when you look at it like that, you can't even really tell, so. Then just go back and fill in any of the little white spots that, I don't know, always just happen. Just the way we pull our brushes or something, I don't know. There's always little white spots where it was missed. So I'm just gonna fill those in. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I tend to do that. Okay. Just gonna do. Okay. Oh, and it looks like that is a piece as well, so. It's a piece of fabric. Okay. It's looking good so far. We can also do a little bit of a dry brush to emphasize some of these ribbons that are hanging down, and then we'll see the little diamonds on them. We can do those in a gold or a silver as well. So, all right. I think we'll start on some of the metal now. for both characters. Sorry. I will use plate mail metal. And we'll use that for all of the metal around the bird. We'll use that for around the halo. We'll use that for the tip of the sword. And I think her bow is, yeah, no metal for there. We'll start on this one just because we have him out. And his whole helmet is metal. What I like about this is that it covers up anywhere where maybe black or red touch that shouldn't. I'm going to leave the tongue because I'll do that a more pink color. Okay. Okay, we got the helmet done. So now we'll do all the metal that's attached to his body. We'll do a wash over this as well when it's dry, all over all the metal. And then the wrist guards. Okay, so this is one side. I'll just do all of the metal that's peeking out here. And then we can do the exact same thing on the other side. And I can see it's almost like skeleton bones around the feathers, but with the metal. And it might not be exactly perfect. It's fine. We'll use a wash on it anyway, so cover any imperfections that we might have. Thinking we can do a wash and then a dry brush over it too with a more of a shiny metal just on the tips and the edges. Making sure that underneath everything as well. Sometimes the angles are interesting, so you have to try to maneuver your brush in. Okay, and then again down the side. Okay. And then the whole bottom half is all metal. So we can just do a lot more messy because there's not really much that I can mess up here, so. when we put a wash, it will fill in a lot of these gaps on the legs and pop out any designs or any detail that we can't see right now. Also, like the nails might be in that grim black, so I'm going to just avoid the nails, and I'll do those in a minute. Okay, we got one side done. So this is kind of what he's looking like. Very interesting. Very interesting. Looks like he's got a brown belt, so I've left that. Dan, hi. Those look fabulous. Fantabulous. Thank you. Popping in to say hello. Hello, Dan. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, these are really fun. Thanks. Wanted to change it up. We did the characters in one stream. We did some of the minions or the mobs in the last stream. But I want to paint up some of these since they're also needed before we can start. Okay, and the metal on the other side. I'm gonna do the sword. Dan says Citadel's coming out with the 25 new contrast paint colors soon. Can't wait. More bullets in the painting gun. Yeah, I saw they're doing like a 2.5, right? I saw that. That's interesting. I haven't seen anything about pricing. And I haven't seen too much about colors, which I'd be interested to see what colors they're gonna do. And Dan, you have the, do you have the first set that they did, the first set of contrast paints? I do not have any of the Citadel contrast paints. I wonder also if they came out with those to kind of compete with the speed paints. Okay, we're gonna let, actually, while I have him in my hand, I'm just gonna use that Grim Black on the toes. And then we'll put him to dry and we'll start working a little bit on the other mini. So this is the same color that we used for the wings and the fur. Oh, you haven't seen a price either. I would assume the same as the current contrast paints. Okay. Which I heard are slightly more expensive than the speed paints. I haven't compared like the size of the bottles, but I'll check them out. I'm interested to see, especially if they do colors that maybe the speed paints don't offer. Okay. He is getting close to being done. So while I have him in my hand, I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna wait on that. It's a tight squeeze to get that guy out. Okay, so he'll just dry on there. We'll let all that silver dry. Pull this one back out. And I'm gonna use that same plate metal all around the halo, I guess. Just need a little more. So excited for the new purples. Both are too dark for me in both original contrast and speed paints. Oh, okay. Okay, so look out for purples. Thanks, Chris. That's good information. I do find that some purples are, yeah, they're interesting. Purple's interesting color. I don't use purple too much. I mean, we did use the purple for the speed paint here a little bit, but I don't use purple very often. Yeah, they're the same ounces, but Citadel is 33% more expensive. Typically, Army Painter is about $4. Citadel is about $6.50. Okay. And with the speed paint ones, they come with the little mixing balls in them too, which you can then use in other paints after. You can remove them when your paint is done. So I guess if you purchase mixing balls for your paints, you have to factor that in as well, that they come in. I'm not a huge fan of the pods. I prefer the dropper bottles myself, but that's just me. Like, I think that's that's their personal opinion on what they like better. So excited for the new purples. Both are too dark for me. Come on, going crazy. I don't also have much Citadel stuff. I think I only have a couple of these, like washes or oils. But if they come out with colors that the Army Painter doesn't have in the speed paints, maybe it's might be worth picking up just like a couple pots here and there. And again, we don't have a price, right, for these new ones, the 2.5s. I'd be curious if they're trying to compete a little bit more with the speed paints. Maybe they drop the prices a little bit, maybe? I would be interested to use them and try them and see which I like better. All right, and then do the underside. Okay. Just checking if I missed anywhere. Or is there any white spots? Okay. What I'm going to plan to do is darken the ring part, and we'll have the blades a lot more shiny. Okay. I think what I'll do next is, it looks like it's kind of made out of stone. So we'll do that next. And I think for that, I'm going to use the Holy White, which is kind of like an off-white, almost looks like a stone color. I like it. I'm gonna use a smaller brush because this is a lot tinier. Okay. I'm just gonna put this all over the face. Oh, what am I doing? I'm using the wrong color here. Dipping into the wrong one. Holy White is ironic. It should be called Sinful Gray. It's not white at all. Yeah. I mean, I guess it has a tinge of white. But yeah, it is very much gray. It's almost like a stone color is what I would best say it is. Which is perfect because when I look at the art of this one, it almost looks like she's made of stone. We'll do the same on her arms. Just kind of avoiding the jewels as best I can. Yep. It's good. And I'll just clean up any pooling, like on the forehead. She has a big spot. There we go. Okay. Now it almost looks like the shirt that she's wearing is like a darker gray. Which I'll only need a drop of. I think what I'll do for that one is I will use runic gray for that. Excuse me, we'll only need a drop of this because actually I'll just put it right here. It's only a very tiny spot. And looking at this, sometimes I feel like this color looks a little more blue than gray, but it's okay. We won't see much of it anyways. Okay. Let's move those. So for the fur that's around her, almost looks like it's all the way around her robes. She should be in Game of Thrones. Just looking at either I have mummy robes or I have corpse pale. I think I'm going to go with the corpse pale, more of a little bit of a cream color. So this is not speed paints, this is just corpse pale regular paint. I'm going to use this same color for the bow as well, kind of like a bone. I'm just going to use this around all of the edges. This will try to do somewhat carefully. But I don't have to go back and clean anything up. I like that it's giving me lines that I can follow instead of having to do it freehand, which is good. I think that looks good. Okay. All right, we'll go along the back. Along the bottom. Probably the most tedious part. I definitely think this adds to the mini instead of just having a plain red cloak. Okay, just need a little more. Do the inside on this side. Wetting my brush so it bends a little bit easier. Okay. Now we just have to do all around the top. When I'm holding it up like this, I can see that she has like a little bit of a frill, which looks like it's the same color as that runic gray that we used on the shirt. So I will do that in a second. Sometimes as I paint, I can see things I couldn't see before. Let's see if I can clean that little bit up without ruining the speed paint. So I'm just going to wet my brush a little bit and see if I can. Okay, I fixed it a little bit better than it was. And we're going to use the wash, so that might fill in any areas where it's not perfect. Almost done. think I got it all. Just a little bit around here. Okay, I think that's good. What I'll do next is just add that runic gray to the little ruffles in the shirt. And on the other side as well. Okay. Almost looks like her hair is a reddish purple as well. So I think I'm just going to use what I already have in this well, which is the mix of the red and the purple a little bit. I think it's the same as this one here. So I'm just going to use that on the hair. Okay, so we have the hair all painted. I think the crown that she's wearing is silver. And her jewels are a mix of gold and silver. So we have the silver out. So let's do the silver on the crown. Okay. And then for the jewels, I'll just do a few of them in the silver. The rest will be gold. Okay. I'll grab the gold because I want to do, so I'm going to use the Metallics Greedy Gold. I want to do a few of the gems, and then I just want to do the handle of his sword in the gold. Won't need a lot of that. Okay. Okay. And then her bow is what looks like it's made out of bone. So I'm going to use this same corpse pail, and then I'm going to use a wash over to make it look like a bone. So we're just going to go over all of that. Robes look great. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's tedious to do all the way around, but I think it definitely makes it look better than if it was just solid color. And we will put a wash on it maybe do some highlighting on it as well. So we are not done yet. I definitely like the way it's coming out so far. I think actually this goes up into here. Okay. I think we just have to do her weapons and that, which I'm going to use some browns for those. So I'm going to leave that for a minute. Let's bring him back up. We're going to use some of the colors that we have out now on him. It's like just fits in this holder. Okay, I'm going to use that gold just around the top of the sword. And I'm going to use this gold just to accent these little buttons. All right, so next I'm going to use the same red actually that we used on the skirt for this handle. I'm just going to do the very bottom of the handle in that same gold. And then I'm going to take that same cream color and I'm going to do all of these spikes, or I'm not even sure really what they are, but it looks like they're a lot lighter. So I'm going to do those in the cream color, almost like a bone as well. Do the backside in a minute. A lot easier when there's no feathers around that I'm worried about hitting. Kate, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to try to carefully do the tips and anywhere that I might get close to the feathers or the wings. I'm gonna fix where I touched. And then there's a couple spots underneath that I'm seeing where I should have painted the black. So I'm just gonna take that and do that now. Okay, I think that is good. Just gonna quickly take this, what is this color? I don't even know. Oh, just intense pink. Take intense pink, just a tiny, tiny bit. We're gonna put that on the tongue. Okay. And then I'm just gonna do some browns for the belt for him, and then a few of the buckles and weapon holders on her. And then we can probably do some washes and dry brushes in that. So for browns, I think I'm gonna use, because I want a dark one, so I'm gonna use dark wood. That's probably enough. I'm just gonna use this for the belt. Okay. Peeking. Okay. So this is him without any wash or dry brush. Pretty big. But I'm going to do a wash over the metal as well as a dry brush. I might even do a little bit of dry brushing over the wings as well, just to pop them out a little bit more, as well as we'll do some highlighting on the skirt area. That's what he's looking like so far. And then he's got more of like a little bit of like a yellow eye. So I'll put that in after the wash is done, just so that that can be as bright as possible. Okay. And just let everything dry quickly before we put a wash on, just while we do some of the accents on her. Okay, so I'm just going to do some of the, looks like, they're not necessarily belts. I don't know what it's holding, but all of those like string or maybe belts, I don't know. And then we'll do the holster of the weapon, the bow. Looking at it closer, it almost looks like she has bows in here. There's probably a belt that's holding her holster. Okay, and I'll do her arrow in the same color. Actually, do the top of it metal. There we go. So it's like a spear. I'm gonna just let that dry for a second, and then I'm going to use colors I already have. I think, oh, maybe I don't even have any more, but never mind. The runic gray is gone. This one. Once that dries for a second, I'm just going to use the runic gray just on the tips of the arrow, just for some detail. But I am going to just do the tip of the spear or the bow. I don't really have much. It's drying up. I think I have enough just to get what I need here. It's going to be very, very light, but it'll just add a little bit more detail and break up the bow. Okay. I think she is pretty much done again without any wash or dry brush, which we will use to kind of highlight as well as kind of cover any small little errors or where things didn't blend very well. But yeah, I'm liking the robes. I'm gonna highlight them as well. But yeah, looking good. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna leave that one on there and put the other one on a different one. We can start with the washing because I'll use a lot of the same colors so I can kind of do them at the same time. Beetles, hello. Looks great. Thanks. Thanks so much. All right. Yeah, because we're going to use a lot of the same colors for washes. So I'm just going to tidy up slightly. Leave that going on. All right. I'm going to start with dark wash. Just going to throw that out of the way for now. Okay. So I'm going to use dark tone. And I want to use this on all of the metals. I'm debating putting it a little bit on the wings as well, or I don't think it needs. I think if I just do a little bit of a dry brush, actually I don't think I need. I'm just going to use this on all of the metals, on both minis. This one is almost out, if not out. Leave it upside down for a minute. Okay. So I'm just going to go over all of the metal with this. Oh, Jacob says, sorry, Mel, but I got to go to sleep. It's 2:55 a.m. in Poland. You do a perfect job. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. 2:55. Yes, 3 a.m. You got to go to sleep. I'm so sorry that I'm taking too long. Thank you for staying up and hanging out with me tonight. Again, we don't have too much more. So now we're just going to get into all the details. So washing, dry brushing, highlighting a little bit. You know what? Actually, I want the ring around to be darker. So I'm actually not going to use the dark wash on that. I'm going to use the Gravelord Gray because that will kind of tint the color a little bit to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to leave that actually. I could go over it multiple times with the dark wash, but I could do one coat with the speed paint and that will do the same look. So it'll just save some time instead of letting it dry, going over the area again. Okay. And we're going to do all of the metal on this guy. Okay, I'll actually put this on the gold as well. Probably should have done that on her as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to do this down the sides. Okay. Okay, I think we got everywhere. Okay. Okay, so now this is what it's looking like now with just adding the dark tone wash over all the metal. It's going to fill in the recesses. It's going to kind of bring out some of the details in that metal. And I do want to go over that with a quick dry brush as well, just to pop that out. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brown wash. Let's go with putting it over the all over the cream color. So let's go with the light tone. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of water to this. Maple Monkey, hello, how are you doing, Dan? And just a tiny bit of water, just to thin it down just a bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and I'm gonna go over just all the cream color. We just added that just to that cream color, and we're gonna do the same thing on her. Oh, got the day off with the family. Might paint some Marvel United today. You've inspired me. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you get the day off with your family. That's awesome. And I'm glad that I've inspired you. There's a lot of cool paint jobs on Discord as well. Yes, I 100% agree. There's been a lot of painting happening and a lot of people posting in the Discord, which is amazing. I love it. I have to, once I get these ones all done, I'll try to take some photos and post them in there for anyone that couldn't watch or doesn't want to watch. So it's a long streams to get to the final product. And then I'm just going to do the bow as well. Okay. Next, I'm going to take that Gravelord Gray I was saying before. So just a little bit of the Gravelord Gray, and I'm just going to go around just the halo part with that. And that will darken this without having to go over it multiple times and still giving a washed effect. So we'll still be able to see the metallic underneath, but it'll be a little bit darker, which I love. I'm kind of going heavier handed with it as well because I want it to darken the area. Okay. And I'm going to just go over the crown that she's wearing in that first dark tone.
Wash you put on it.
Only because it was, that's fine. Yeah, sorry.
It'll dry faster than
It will dry faster. You're right.
So I put it there for. I tuned for 1 minute. See what I move.
No, I just stopped. I promise. Okay, so just adding this dark wash to the crown. Okay. So now here's what she's looking like with just a little bit of wash going on. Again, we can do some more highlighting. As she dries. Okay. Thinking about highlighting a little bit the cape. And I'm just thinking about some different colors. I'm going to use a little bit of this Grimoire purple just to highlight a little bit on the inside. It's going to be a lighter purple, so it's just going to highlight some of the, see you later, Dan. See you later. It's just going to catch some of the raised edges. Oh, this one is, there we go, not mixed very well. And I'm just adding some water to it to make it kind of like a thin, almost like a wash, but not really a wash. I want it to just kind of add a little bit to the edges. And sometimes I find with the highlights like this, you have to go over them a little, like a couple times. But it just adds a little bit of definition, I find. We're gonna have to play with the different highlights as they dry. Let's let that dry for a minute. And then for the inside, you know what? I think on the inner one, I can probably use the same. Let's see. I'm just kind of going over all of the raised edges and like the flaps. Okay, we'll let that dry. We need to go over that again. Okay. Okay, I think for him, we'll start with some dry brushing on the wings. I feel like there's a lot of texture and definition already in the skirt. I'm thinking about doing a tiny bit of dry brush on it, just a little bits on like some of the edges and some of the higher points. But I think I'm not gonna do a highlight like in every crease on that. I think it's filled in kind of nicely with just maybe a little bit of highlight with a dry brush. But I'm gonna start with a dry brush on the wings. And I'm gonna start with, I think with red, with pure red. And just kind of like on the bottom portions of the wings, kind of coming up. And then I might use a little bit of orange on the tip. Get my dry paper towel. And I want to build this up. I don't think I want to do like big red streaks. So get almost all of it off. And then I want to go from the bottom and up. So it's kind of giving that kind of effect where you can see the difference. And I don't want a ton. I don't want it to be overpowering. But I just want to give a little bit of effect on the tips of the wings. And I don't even think I'm not going to go up to the top. I'll just do maybe like these bottom three. That's the kind of effect it's giving. Just I just also want to fill in quickly. That away. There's like a couple little tiny dots I can see of white. I just want to fill those in because they're bugging me. Infamous says, Mel, you always say that you don't want to make your minis perfect. You just want to get them to the table. Then you do stuff like this. Wow, that looks great. Great job as always. Thank you so much. No, um, yeah, you're right. But you know what? There's always more I could do. I'm always like backing away a little bit, but some things I feel like are just needed. And I think to kind of fit the art, I think it's needed, right? It looks great. It looks great. Like that side just looks great. But then I don't know, it takes an extra few minutes and it can just kind of make things pop or emphasize something more. So you're right, you're right. I do. For these ones I have said I'm not spending as much time, but I still have a little bit more time. It's okay. I still want to make them look good. I might also be just trying to tell myself like, Mel, hurry up, Mel, hurry up, which is why I say I'm trying to just get them to the table. Okay. So the other side, and then I'm just gonna add, I think, like a tiny bit of orange dry brush as well, just to the tips, but just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Okay, let's do this side. I like dry brushing. I didn't really learn at the beginning, but you want to kind of like build it up to the point that you want instead of having, because you can't take it off. It's easier just to kind of keep adding how much you want in areas that you want instead of going heavy handed at the beginning and then you can't get rid of it without painting over. And now I'm just going to very lightly just kind of do up the top just to make it like a transition so it's not like a line of this is where it stopped. Oh, Kate, you're so sweet. Every time I come back, these look better and better. Oh, thank you so much. And this just makes it so that it's kind of like a gradual fade to the dry brush instead of a line. Okay. I like that. I just got to do the back side of the other one. And then I'm just doing almost like a slightly heavier hand just on the very edges where it would be the heaviest. Okay. And then I'm just going to add just a tiny bit of orange. I'm going to use the lava orange just again on those very tips. I'm even going to use the same brush. I think I'm happy with the wings. Let's go like this so you guys can see better. Oh, I should do a little bit of orange on the backside as well. Sorry, while I have it. Yeah, let's do that. Just on the very edges. Okay, sorry, so let's try that again. Okay. I think I'm really happy with the way the wings have turned out. But I'm seeing now, when I hold that up, that like a big gray patch, or where silver should have been. I missed a spot. Okay. That's better. Okay, what I'm gonna do next with him is I'm going to take a silver dry brush to all of the metal. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this shining silver. I want to just brighten up some of the edges, some of the buttons and things like that. So okay. Let me take a different dry brush. And I want to use a shiny one so that it's bright and shiny, I guess. And I'm just going to go against the grain here and just so that it gets all the edges, all the raised bumps. And then just anywhere that like light would hit, I just kind of shine it up a little bit. Okay. Next thing I want to do is he has very bright eyes. I'm going to use this demonic yellow and I'm just going to dab in the eyes this color. Okay. Got nice big bright yellow eyes. Okay. All right, just going to do one more little bit of dry brush just on here on the skirt. I think I'm gonna go with this. No, this might be too much. Looking at my colors. No, I'm gonna try something. This Warlock purple, it's kind of a pinky purple. I'm just gonna do very, very light anyways. I just wanna do it over top of the edges. I don't wanna change the color. I just wanna like brighten those spots. And I think, I'll look at this color once I put it on the palette, but I think this color is okay. Because it is kind of like a pinky purple. Oh yeah, this is fine. Might use some of this on that other one, on that one as well. I think that just kind of emphasizes like the lines, almost like edge highlights them a little bit. Okay. I think he's good once we put a base in black. They're so big. Yeah, I think he's good. So I'll do a black ring around the base. Second. Actually, I'll do that now. And then you can dry. Oh, sorry. I just always use matte black for the base. For not always, but for this game, I've been using matte black for the base. Thank you. So the pink purple worked out perfectly. Great job. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's just like enough that it just will highlight, but not change any colors. Like I just wanted to pick up just some of the edges and the lines. I could go and kind of like highlight each higher area, but that would take a lot more time, especially in something like that's this kind of wavy. So just doing a quick dry brush, it's good enough. Does the job. I've been trying to experiment a lot more with highlighting in colors. What I used to just do is after I would put a wash on, I would just highlight with that same color that I used, which is totally fair. You can do that. But I find that when you highlight with other colors, you can just make things pop a little bit more. Add a little bit more to the mini. I've been trying to experiment with that. Not all of it turns out perfect, but that's okay. See what works and what doesn't as you practice. Okay. He is done. I am super, super proud of him. Let's put him more in the center. Okay. I really like the way that guy looks. Okay, let's see what we're doing with her. I don't love the sculpt on this one, but it's all good. Okay. I'm just gonna add a little bit more of that purple that we used to our mixture. Seems like it might be a little bit too watery. I'm just gonna go over those areas one more quick time with that lighter purple now. Okay. Could do the same thing where you use a dry brush here as well, but there's a lot less folds here, so it's easy enough to just kind of try to highlight them manually. And again, sometimes you have to build it up. You have to keep going over, depending on how light your color is, or if it's more of like a glaze that you have. Okay. I'm going to do a tiny bit of detail just on these little, I guess, buttons or markings. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of silver and I'm just rubbing the brush almost like a dry brush, just kind of going over that just to put some detail. I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Okay, and then I'm going to just dry brush a little bit on the spikes. I just want them to be a lot lighter than the halo that's around. So I'm just going to lighten them up. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do on her is I was thinking about even doing a slight dry brush just on the areas that I did the cream, almost because it's kind of like a fur. So I want to do a even lighter. So I did the Corpse Pale for the initial color. I'm actually thinking of dry brushing it just a little bit lighter in the skeleton bone, just because it's kind of like a fur. So it'll just kind of pop that out a little bit. I don't know if I have another dry brush down here. I can just use one of my ratty brushes. Use one of these. I have a couple brushes that are kind of ratty and ruined, so I can just kind of use that just to rub this over top. That's not gonna, nope, I need to go lighter. So I think I'm actually gonna go with Mummy Robes instead. Yeah, that one is not gonna do what I want. Yeah, you're right. I thought because I darkened it, I needed to go kind of a similar color than to what I did initially. But yeah, as soon as I started, I realized that would not work. I'm doing super, super light. I just wanted to kind of pick out some of the fur. I'll just go over this really quick too with the bow. I'm just kind of highlight where the light would hit. Okay, I think she is good. We just have to do again the black base on her. And some of the highlighting is still drying, so should be enough that it just kind of emphasizes those waves in the robes. This is our stone lady. So just do again black, matte black base on this one. Okay. Just quickly, I see tiny, tiny white spot that I missed, so I'll just fix that. Awesome. So I think, actually, put them both on here. They will both spin on here. I think we did it. Just looking at something. I thought that it was just the shininess. I thought that white was still on, that you could still see white on this area, but I think it's just the shiny through the black. Yeah. Did it. Okay, I really like this guy. I think I did a good job. This girl's okay. I don't love the sculpt of it, but it's okay. I like Infamous. I like the purple inside. I really like that. I like the different colors we were able to achieve. Yeah. Awesome. I think that's it for today. We did it. We got through 2 of the roaming monsters. 2 more to go for that. This was fun. It was nice to be able to get through the 2 and to still be able to do a little bit of extra on them, you know, do a little bit of extra highlighting, dry brushing, all of that. So I know I do say, like Infamous said, I do say that I want to try to get them to the table, and I do, but I still want them to look nice. Like I still want to be proud of them when we're playing with them, and I want people to pick them up and be like, ooh, that's nice. So I think that Toucan Man from Hell is my favorite so far. I think so too. I really think so too. Looking at the mini before I started, I was like, okay, this is interesting. But then as I started going, yeah, it's very, very cool mini. I like the sculpt of it too. The Toucan from Hell, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely very happy with the way that these turned out. Very excited to be able to get them to the table, hopefully sooner than later. I don't know when the next paint stream will be. Rob and I were quickly talking about it before the stream started, but we didn't really set any dates in stone. We got to look at the calendar and see what's going on. We do have a holiday coming up this weekend, so we are going to do some family stuff as well. So we're just going to kind of look at the calendar, what's going on, what we're doing, and I'll see when the next paint stream will be. But I think in the next one, unless I finish, like unless it's later in the into next week, I think the next one will be the other 2 roaming monsters. Because now that I see that I can do both of them in an evening, I'll do those 2. If I've already done those, like if it's later into next week, then maybe I'll think about doing a boss. So yeah, that was fun. Kate, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you everyone for the kind words. It's very motivating when people come in and say they look great. So you don't have to do that, but it's definitely motivating for me. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that just hung out with me tonight while I painted, or anybody that's watching later and got all the way to the end of this. Thank you so much. Leave a like if you want to see more of these kind of videos. Let me know that you like it. Again, I don't know when the next paint stream is, so the best way to find out when we do schedule the next paint stream is if you set your reminders. So make sure you subscribe, set the reminders, then you'll be notified when we go live and when the next paint stream is scheduled, hopefully sooner than later, because I definitely want to continue on these minis and keep painting them with you guys on stream. It's been fun. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you again to our YouTube members and our Patreons for supporting the channel. If you want to join in with those wonderful people, the links are in the description below. You can head on down there. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in the next stream. Thanks so much. Bye.